There are people in history who save millions of lives, and there are people who take them. But what if one man did both? What if the same mind that helped feed the world also helped create a weapon that would suffocate it? What if the line between hero and villain was never clear to begin with? Because sometimes the most dangerous stories are not about good or evil. They're about both, existing in the same person. This is Forgotten Minds, where we bring lost stories into the light. And this is the story of a man history still struggles to understand. He wasn't born into war. He wasn't shaped by destruction. He was shaped by knowledge, curiosity, ambition. A brilliant mind, obsessed with solving problems. He was born on December 9th, 1868, in Breslau, a place that would later be known as Wrocław, Poland. The son of a merchant, growing up in a disciplined household, where expectations were high, and curiosity was often his escape. At a time when the world was growing rapidly, there was one problem no one could ignore: food. Populations were rising, resources were limited, and many believed that famine was inevitable. Then came an idea. Simple in concept, but revolutionary in impact. What if you could take something invisible, something abundant, something already in the air, and turn it into food? Nitrogen, all around us, but unusable, locked away. He found a way to unlock it, to transform it, to turn air into fertilizer. And with that, he changed agriculture forever. Crops grew faster, harvests increased, and millions who might have starved didn't. His discovery spread across nations, across continents. It wasn't just science, it was survival. Some say that without his work, billions of people today would not exist. He had done the impossible. He had given humanity a way to sustain itself. But history was not finished with him yet. Then came war, a different kind of war, industrial, relentless, global. And once again, science was no longer just about discovery. It was about power. The same process that helped create fertilizer could also be used for something else. Explosives, the same knowledge that fed the world, could now fuel destruction. And he made a choice. He believed in his country, in its strength, in its victory. And he believed that science should serve it. So he turned his attention to something new, something darker: chemical weapons. The battlefield changed forever. Not with bullets, not with bombs, but with gas. Invisible, silent, unavoidable. It crept through the air, entered the lungs, and suffocated everything in its path. And behind it was a man who once fed the world. To some, he was a patriot, a genius, a man doing what was necessary. To others, he was something else entirely. Because there are lines in history that once crossed can never be undone. But the war didn't just take place on the battlefield. It reached his home, his life, his family. Because not everyone agreed with him. Not everyone believed that this was the right path. And sometimes, the greatest conflicts are the ones closest to us. When the war ended, the world had changed, and so had he. The same man was now seen in two completely different ways: a savior and a destroyer. His work continued to shape the world. Fertilizer continued to feed billions. But chemical weapons left scars that would never fully heal. Then something unexpected happened. The world he had served turned against him. Politics changed, power shifted, and suddenly, he was no longer protected. The man who had given everything was forced to leave, to walk away from the very place he had tried to serve, because history can be unforgiving. His final years were quiet, reflective. He moved across countries, no longer belonging to the nation he once served, carrying with him both the pride of saving millions and the weight of how that same knowledge had been used. And on January 29th, 1934, he died in a hotel room in Switzerland, far from recognition, far from resolution, leaving behind a legacy the world still debates, perhaps filled with thoughts of what had been done, of what had been created, and of what it all meant, because his story is not simple. It doesn't fit into categories. It doesn't give easy answers. He was not just a hero. He was not just a villain. He was both. And maybe that's what makes his story so important, because it forces us to ask questions we don't want to answer. Can a person be both good and destructive? Can one action save millions and another take them? Because sometimes the most powerful force in the world is not science. It's the choices we make with it. He fed the world, and he helped change the way it fights. And in doing so, he became something history will never fully understand. His name was Fritz Haber. If this story made you pause, if it made you think, if it made you question what you believed, then you already know why stories like this matter. This is Forgotten Minds, where we don't just tell history, we reveal what it tried to hide. Like the video. Subscribe, and be part of something bigger. A journey into the stories that shaped your world. And if you want to explore the truth behind this story, check the first comment. Because every story we tell is built on truth, and some truths deserve to be remembered.